There are mornings when the wind gathers in a peculiar way, as if trying to pull human beings back to their most primordial questions. That morning in Manhattan was one such moment. Streams of people hurried along Wall Street, moving as if they were trying to outrun the uncertainty within themselves. And in a corner of a small cafe, amid the hissing steam of the espresso machine, Nassim Taleb was flipping through the draft of The Black Swan. He did not know that just minutes later, a figure from ancient Athens would pull up the chair across from him, opening a dialogue about the unknowable, the very thing modern humans try to escape, yet are always drawn back to.
I have heard that you believe the world is governed not by what we know, but by what cannot be known. A rather paradoxical claim for human beings who pride themselves on their knowledge.
Taleb is surprised, as if a long-held assumption has just been touched.
Paradoxical? Perhaps it is simply reality. People build entire financial systems on predictive models, only to see them collapse because of a single event they never imagined. They live under the illusion that the world can be measured, while the world itself can never be fully measured.
Then how, in your view, should human beings live when they cannot know what will happen? Should they simply surrender to fate?
No. I do not teach people to surrender to chaos. I teach them to befriend it. I call this anti-fragility, the ability to grow stronger after being harmed. The world cannot be predicted, but we can prepare. Prepare how when one cannot know what is coming? By humility in the face of not knowing. We break risks into smaller pieces, invest cautiously, so that when a black swan appears, we are not swept away. And when luck arrives, we are flexible enough to benefit from it.
That sounds much like the philosophy of moderation I once taught. No extremism in action, no illusion in belief. But tell me, Taleb, if we are always afraid of the unknown, will we dare to create, to take risks, to reach for something great?
I am not afraid of the unknown. I am afraid of the stupidity of those who think they know. The one who can say, "I don't know," is the truly wise one. By contrast, the experts who draw charts and speak of probabilities and standard deviations, they are the true prey of the black swan.
Socrates smiles calmly.
Fascinating. I once said, I know that I know nothing. Perhaps you are a philosopher of the modern age, still carrying that spirit amid people intoxicated with data.
Perhaps I am just a risk trader who reads philosophy. But yes, we share a belief in the power of humility. The problem with modern humans is their addiction to the illusion of control. They believe that with enough intelligence and enough models, they can eliminate risk. Yet, the greatest risk comes precisely from the belief that they are safe.
Is that why you say, if something allows us to survive chaos, it will make us stronger?
Exactly. A body, an economy, or a soul, if never tested, will remain fragile. We only learn to stand after falling. We only understand peace after tasting chaos.
But Taleb, are you not contradicting yourself? If black swans are unpredictable, how can we possibly prepare for them?
I do not prepare for any specific black swan. I prepare for any black swan. I do not try to predict the future. I build my life so that whatever the future brings, I will not collapse. That is the difference between controlling the future and surviving it.
Socrates nods gently.
A strategy worth contemplating. I once was asked, what is philosophy for? I replied, to learn how to die calmly. You teach, instead, to learn how to survive amid chaos. Perhaps you and I are not so different after all.
Perhaps. Socrates, you were condemned for asking questions that made others uncomfortable. I am attacked for saying that the overly intelligent can also be foolish. Both of us make the world uneasy, simply by reminding it that reality does not submit to reason.
Your world is full of data, computers, and algorithms. Mine was full of myth, belief, and philosophy. Yet it seems that people in both eras fear the same thing: uncertainty. Perhaps because they want to control everything, yet cannot even control themselves.
Exactly. I once said, nothing is more dangerous than someone with a perfect theory of the world. Because when the world refuses to follow that theory, such a person will destroy everything just to prove himself right. Then, if humans cannot predict and cannot control, what is the purpose of knowledge? Knowledge is not for prediction, but for humility. When we understand that the world lies beyond our grasp, we begin to live more intelligently, simply, resiliently, and with room for error.
Socrates turns his gaze toward the window, sunlight slanting through the glass.
Taleb, perhaps what we are speaking of is not only investing, but life itself. The one who seeks absolute safety lives in fear. The one who accepts risk lives in freedom.
And the one who knows risk is unavoidable, yet still moves forward, truly understands life. For he knows that every failure, every surprise, every shock is a lesson no school can teach.
The cafe slowly empties. Dust settles among the glass towers. Socrates stood and placed a hand on Taleb's shoulder.
You make me realize that perhaps the black swan is not an enemy, but a teacher. For only when darkness appears does one recognize the light within.
And I have learned from you, Socrates, that the one who knows that he knows nothing is the only one not destroyed by the unknown.
As Socrates left the cafe, he looked up at the New York sky and saw a flock of birds flying in formation. Among them, one bird with pure white feathers stood out. He smiled. The black swan Taleb spoke of was perhaps still there, hidden among the crowd that believed it had already understood the world. And perhaps true freedom does not come from knowing more, but from daring to live fully, even when we do not know what awaits us ahead.